Hello YouTube, Eric here with my first belt review. We're going to be looking at a couple of belts by Foreigner Belts on Facebook. Mohammed Salman is who I worked with on these. Pakistani maker. Um, so let's get right into it. First one I got here is an Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt. You guys will recognize this. This is one of the most popular designs, one of my favorites. Definitely interested in adding it to my collection. So first of all, I just want to talk about what it was like to do business with Foreigner Belts and Muhammad Salman. They were excellent. Honestly, he was very communicative, very upfront, super nice, easy to get a hold of. I got these belts in about 3 weeks, which is really fast, really quick. And I didn't expect them that fast. Uh, I didn't call him for any updates or anything like that. He provided updates on his own. He hit me up every, maybe once a week or something like that, and just showed me progress, showed me pictures of the plates. And so as far as dealing with Muhammad and Muhammad Salman and Foreigner Belts, it was a pleasure. That's the one thing that I hear is the hardest, is one of the biggest complaints, is that, these guys don't communicate with you, and, people sometimes don't hear back from them. It takes them maybe 6 months to a year to get their belt and all that kind of stuff. So as far as all of that goes, I didn't have any problems at all that I can complain about. Um, really did business like you would expect someone to do it. So I just want to get that out of the way. And I will also say that these are budget belts. He worked with, what I had, and gave me a deal on the two. So so I want you to keep that in mind too, that that these are not very expensive. They're on real leather. These are 4mm zinc plates, and he gave me options as far as what materials I wanted, and that's what I wanted, was 4mm zinc. I mean, that's what I kind of see out there the most. And so when I got them out of the box and I had my new belt day, I was super excited. Obviously, it's the first time I had ordered um, from anybody direct like this. I have a couple of other belts, but I got them secondhand, and so I definitely was excited. I got them out of the box. They looked a little roughed up because of the bubble wrap and stuff like that. So I got some non-ammonia cleaner and tried to clean them up as best I can. Um, and then after a few days, I kind of started to notice some things about them, and that's what I'm going to go over here now. I'll just start with the plates. The snaps, of course, it's got a tooled strap. Really, I think good stamping, deep stamping. It appears to be stamped, and then hand tooled clamshell there. So it is a real leather strap. But I'm going to get into that after we talk about the plates a little bit. So, the plates, when I got really close, I noticed a few things um, that kind of concerned me. They just look around the finer points here, the edges and stuff. They look a little rough to me. There's a little, I don't know, a little dirty in the corners. And then I noticed that the line is a little rough. It's not really straight here. And then you can kind of see more of that on this one. It just seems like a little rough in there. Maybe the etching. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know really how this stuff works. So maybe you guys can help me out in the comments on what this could be. I noticed also, if you look and see in the light here, that there's a lot of this rough kind of, I don't know, it's not pitting really because it feels smooth, but it just kind of looks like, I don't know, imperfections maybe. In the middle of the two W's there, you can see there's a lot of, I don't know, it's it's just kind of like a nuggety texture that's kind of in there. So I don't know, is that normal? I mean, I've seen other belts and those are a clean line. So maybe you guys can help me out. Um, Again, on this second one, here you can see it's just kind of, the lines are kind of icky. There's nothing in the bottoms like on the other side, but that's supposed to be a straight line. And I don't know, maybe if my expectations are too high, let me know. A little bit again, that that stuff in the middle of the two W's. And then just around all the detail, you can kind of see this, it's not waviness, it's just, it, it has like imperfection in the light. So the main plate, kind of more the same. I mean, it just looks a little fuzzy to me compared to some of the other belts I've seen. I just saw a video from Big Mike on Facebook. Big Mike Championship Belts, I think is his group or something like that. And he posted a 2mm brass. So that's different material. And you can just see, this is the kind of stuff that I'm wondering, is this normal? Is this like what I should expect from this process? There's a pit there. Up here, again, like I say nuggeting because it kind of looks like a nugget look. I mean, is this supposed to be in here? Because if it is, it's only in some spots. It's not everywhere. And then it's in here a lot. I noticed on this side of the main plate, on the edge here, there's a really big kind of gash in it. And it looks like it's in the metal because the plating is smooth. So maybe it was there already before it got plated. So I'm like not sure. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be there. And then when I come to this other side plate, this one, the lines are a lot better on the edges. So this is kind of what I expected. Just a clean line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, it's straight. This one too. I mean, there's a little bump there. And then back on this one, there's like more gunk in the edges a little bit. And so again, you can see in the light that there's just this, sometimes it looks like a waviness, like right in here. Maybe that's from the finishing process. I don't know, it just seems a little fuzzy to me. That one looks okay. But again, there's a lot of this, the bumpiness is everywhere around like the text and stuff. I noticed just the smallest amount of tarnish on these snaps, but not a big deal. I mean, I don't, it's not unacceptable or anything like that. So that's the plates. I have another belt here. This is an old winged eagle that I've had that is an unknown maker. But the reason I wanted to show it is because the leather on here has a really nice clean cut. Now it's not as thick of leather, but it's very clean and even. And this is kind of what I expected. Now the stamping is not nearly as deep on this other maker's belt, but the leather cut is very clean. And so that's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting on this one. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the tag belt. Um, this one is dual plated, and I think it's a little bit better overall. I mean, when I saw the two, I was like, whoa, you know, this one is really beautiful. And I thought it was quite a bit better as far as it's the clarity, you know, of the images and stuff than the IC belt. And I think that's true. But as I got really close and looked at all the details, I noticed that this belt kind of suffers from a lot of the same problems that the other one did. For example, the etching here on this plate is very faint. Like I can kind of tell what's going on there, but it's really hard to see. When you come to the same plate on the opposite side, it's still pretty rough, but there's a little bit more there. Like you can see the guy's, the definition of the arms and the other guy's face. He's got him in a, like in a sleeper hold, and there's a little bit on the chest, but it's still very fuzzy and hard to tell what it is compared to, for example, this side, which is clearer. This one right here probably might be the best out of the side plates. And I don't know if the fuzziness is part of the dual plating process, like plating it a second time, you lose some detail there, but that's not good. And again, you see all of this like fuzziness, like snow or cracks or whatever it is, they're all over the place. And so it's not like a mirror where it's really, really clear. I mean, there's a few spots like over here. This looks really nice, and when I see how clear and transparent that those areas are, I wonder why these other areas are so rough. And like there's some scratches in here. No, I didn't do those. This was on there when I got it. I've had them for maybe less than a week now before I finally took the time to shoot this. If you look at the text here, there's some inconsistency. The C is very small and thin, as well as the A, but the H and the M and the P are really thick and large. So you can see that there's inconsistency there. The T on wrestling is kind of small. And then you also see that on this last plate here, the tag team plate, like the T is almost gone. This isn't just a painting thing. It doesn't really have much of anything here for the T. And the G also has lost its little hook. It's very thin. And this T's rough. And all the text on here looks rough. And then if you look at the plate itself, it's actually not even on there even. This side is much higher than this side. You see how this is lower and then this is higher up. And I'm straight on. I'm looking straight down on it. It's just uneven. And I can't, it's bolted in there. So that's a little sloppy, I think. Now, also, while we're here, look at the cut on the leather. You see how it's just very thick and doesn't really follow the line of the tooling. It seems sloppy to me. And if I'm being harsh here, please let me know in the comments. Because again, this is my first time purchasing a belt like this from anybody overseas. You can see how rough this cut. This is really dug in right here. And it's just all over the place. It looks like it was done fast, the cut on the leather. Now, I don't know, again, maybe he might have hired some people and he might have had a lot of people working for him if he's overloaded right now, and maybe I got one of the one of the new guys. And again, this is a budget belt. These aren't really, really expensive. So I texted him afterwards, after I received the belt. I told him thank you, and I did tell him I was happy. And I'm not gonna completely fault him. One other thing I was gonna say, and I'm thinking about it now, is the tip. Okay, there's a tip on here. It's a half tip. Makers, I just want to say, if you're gonna put a tip on it, just put a whole tip. I know it's a cost-cutting measure, and then maybe it's people who have it on the wall like it, but I think you should just put a whole tip. And the other thing is, this is on crooked. It wasn't really put on very well. It's overlapping over here, and then the leather's overlapping on this side. It was just put on sloppy. Am I happy? They look good in the selfies. They look good hanging on the wall. I'm certainly not going to ask for my money back. I mean, you take a risk when you go online and you do this. And overall, The experience has been positive. Let me reiterate that he was great to deal with. He was a wonderful businessman, um, and that goes a long way for me. And that's why I just say that I think that his products need to catch up with the quality of his customer service, which is outstanding. And again, I could have just got a couple of rush jobs possibly, um, and maybe this is what I should expect for a budget belt. Um, and you guys let me know. But thanks again. Like and subscribe. I'll have some other belt reviews coming up shortly. Now, I was going to do a professional type belt review for him, for Muhammad. Uh, but you know what? I'm not sure if he's going to want that because I just don't feel like these things really hold up under the scrutiny of the bright lights. Foreigner Belt's logo is that they work professionally and they don't compromise on quality. So I can certainly vouch for them as far as that they work professionally. I think maybe the quality could stand to just catch up a little bit. Because even if these are budget belts, I mean, he sent these to me um, as his product, as his merchandise. So I wanted to provide an honest review. I like uh, Muhammad Salman. As great as the guy as he was really nice to deal with. But I just have to be honest so that you guys are prepared and you know what to expect. Thank you.